What's up, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Dev and the Bear. Today we're here with Miles Banks, the Fury Amateur Heavyweight Champion. You are a massive man. That last fight, though, you want to get someone like roughly your size. You feel like that was a little different? It was Campbell. I don't know his first name. Yeah. Brian Campbell.
Really? Probably not really, just because I had some good training partners. Bigger training partners this camp, so it was what I expected. My main training partner was probably bigger than him, so he is bigger than him. So
yeah,
in weight.
So you're is that training with War or a training partner somewhere else?
Nah, with War.
Okay.
War pretty much.
Who's bigger than you?
Huh?
Who's bigger than you?
Well, I'm bigger than me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
He's bigger than the other guy. I mean, he's big. He's a big, strong. He's strong. He's stronger than me, like in terms of raw strength, but.
Well, yeah, I think the coolest thing about watching your fights is you're a heavyweight, but you're a natural heavyweight. So you're an athlete. You don't lose that athleticism due to your size, like, at all. Yeah. So when you go in there, you have all this technique and speed. I don't think, for the most part, anyone's going to really be able to keep up with that. Is the goal UFC? Is that? Yeah. Until you get to the UFC, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of, like, crazy competition.
Sucks.
But yeah, but like I said, that last guy, he was kind of roughly your size. And I think the only thing, like, he stayed in there. I think he did a pretty good job sticking around, staying in there with you, as long as he could anyway. But
he stuck in there.
I don't know if this surprised you. It surprised us, and we thought it was freaking awesome when he, like, jumped and took your back and went for an armbar. Yeah. That was freaking crazy. That was crazy to see.
He almost took my arm off, man.
I don't know. Props to him for that, you know?
Yeah, we were watching that when, like, Campbell switched went to the armbar. I'm like, well, this guy's a fucking heavyweight. What the hell?
Yeah, so that was true. You ever see yourself doing jiu-jitsu like that in a match?
In a match?
Yeah.
Man, y'all know I did the CSC competition.
Combat sports coverage.
Like, every time I think about going for an armbar, I'm always like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Yeah. Like, it doesn't sound like a good idea because what happened, I actually did go for an armbar and I didn't finish it and I ended up under him. But I did it because it was like 20 seconds left.
Did you win it? I think I was trying my best to, like, find all the, like, winners from it without having to watch the stream.
Yeah, I did win. I won it.
Okay.
I won. Jeremy won. James won.
I definitely saw that Jeremy won. That was awesome.
Team war, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that Pelosi's, they're out there from Power Sports. Cindy Pelosi, she's like 4'11".
Oh yeah.
I talked to her a little bit. She said she didn't win. You ever, like, go stand near her? Because that'd be pretty funny.
We actually both fought on the Fury card.
Yeah, that's where we met them.
I haven't stood next to her.
You should.
I believe it's her husband, though.
Jason.
He's a big dude. He's cool, though. I like them. They come in the kilts. The kilts and everything. That's dope. Yeah, that's good right there. That's a cool family.
Talking to them, you could tell they're very like, influenced with, like, Nordic stuff. I was talking to them for a bit. They go to Renaissance Festival. Do you have anything that, like, influences you and, like, what you try to do?
Just cartoons and anime, really. Yeah. That's just about it, man. Nothing else. Like, people don't really influence me too much.
Okay, I think that's pretty cool.
Idols or anything.
I mean, you're a large guy, being larger than life.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm larger than life. Life is big.
Yeah,
life is a big task to handle, man. It's tough. It's ever growing.
So I kind of watched some of your interview with Clear Life Combat that you did and stuff, and you talk about leading into MMA and how, you know, your coaches from college were kind of like, yeah, we kind of expected that, you know, with you getting into fighting. So what was your family's reaction to that, though, when you decided to get into MMA?
My mom thought it was a phase, like everything else that she thought. She thought my hair was a phase. She thinks so many things are phases, but I'm an adult now. I know what I like and what I don't like. Everybody else is like, I mean, not much of a surprise, kind of a surprise. Like my closest friends, their mothers and stuff like that will be like, I would have never thought that you would have been doing this, but they know me. They know me my whole life for 20 years. So,
right.
I mean, no real nothing. They all support the crap out of me. They're always coming out if they can. No surprise, really. No surprise for real. I never got in trouble for fighting growing up. So
there you go. I couldn't imagine anybody wanting to fight you growing up. Either.
I did, man. I'm telling you, you would think, right? And that's why, like, big people typically like they don't really have that fight in them. You'll see a lot of people, like people will always say it's a common thing amongst big people. It's like they don't, like they quit or they give up really easily, or like they start to get beat and then they're just like, so it's just they're like front runners. But like, man, I grew up in places where like my size meant nothing. It made me a bigger target if anything. It was like, I'm a chill dude and everybody's like, oh, he's chill, so let's go mess with him, see if we can get a name with him, get a rep with him. And I'm like, well, you bring it. You go and get it. You go and get it.
Where I grew up, I'm considered tall, 6'2", and I can't imagine being 6'8". But yeah, that was kind of the same experience as being taller, being the only white dude in school. I was kind of got crap all the time. I don't know. It wasn't so bad. I was cool with pretty much everybody, but there were some people that they had to kind of pick a fight with me before we could be cool.
Where are you from originally?
Pasadena,
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Out here, I know nothing about it.
It's mostly Hispanic.
Mostly Hispanic? Okay, yeah. That's what I figured.
Yeah, I grew up about like a street away from him.
Yeah.
And that's how like he would always ride around on a skateboard, and that's how I ended up running into him one day when I was like in like 6th grade.
What kind of skateboard did you do?
Back then it was just kind of street, just because it had to be.
I'm saying, you got like a popsicle, or you got like a street board, like a longboard?
Oh, right now I have longboards. I don't have any
okay.
skateboards anymore.
Okay.
If I had the money to go skate and actually like put stuff into it, the last board I had was probably like my favorite board that I've ever had. It was a Goodwood with independent trucks, Luckies, Spitfire. I was so happy with it.
Better than me. I don't even know my current setup. I don't even know my current setup. I keep having to buy a new deck.
Break it?
Yeah, I'm
Big
heavy.
boys.
I'm a heavy dude. I'm a heavy dude.
You ever get Walmart boards?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's where I was. I was always getting Walmart boards, and I was always breaking them. They're so cheap.
They are. Wood is like garbage. It's like I don't know, like the fake furniture.
It's like plywood or something.
It's like it really is garbage. It loses its pop really quick and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. I just haven't had time to skate as much because all the fights and camps and everything. I'm just trying to stay healthy. If I go skate, I'm gonna go skate. Like,
where do you skate at?
Out here? There was a skate park by my old apartment in the Galleria area. I went to. It was a park. I can't remember. I went there like once, but since I've been here, I've either been like hurt or not hurt, and then I'm getting ready for fights.
Yeah.
So I'm just not like risking that. I'm not risking getting hurt doing that. I'm for sure gonna get hurt doing that. Like, if I'm gonna skate it.
There's a handful of decent skate parks around here. There's like Memorial Skate Park.
Yeah, Southside Skate Park.
Southside.
Memorial Skate Park looks cool. We were actually there doing screwjitsu in the park. We like take the mats out.
That's
there.
where y'all were. I saw Jeremy posting about it, and I was like, man, that'd be cool.
Was it Memorial Park? That's the one on Allen Parkway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah. And I saw the skate park in the distance. I was like, the skate park here, bro? It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, in high school, we used to always go there.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'm going to check it out one day, like when I'm not in camp. Well, I'm not in camp right now, so maybe I will go check it out soon.
There you go.
We'll see.
But yeah, so what other sports did you have in? Like basketball, football?
Nah, I wanted to play football. My mom wouldn't let me play football. She was like, my mom's a nurse. She basically bamboozled me into thinking that she was trying to let me play, but we got there late, and I figured it out later that she took me late on purpose. But I played baseball growing up. Baseball was my first sport since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Basketball, baseball, swimming. I mean, my family's from the Bahamas, and I would go to the Bahamas every year growing up to spend time with my cousins and everything. And my uncle would put us in new camps every year, so. I also play I play soccer, swimming, stuff like that. I don't know, nothing too crazy though. Like basic stuff.
You watch the Astros?
Huh?
You watch Astros or you watch someone else?
I don't watch baseball. It's pretty boring if you ask me.
Yeah.
I'll watch it if I go to the game though. And I went to a few Astros games since I've been here. Astros games are alive though. Like it's a good Houston, it's a good experience. Even though
for the most part, I think Houston has pretty good fans. Like I think every city's gonna give the opponent city crap, like no matter what. But Houston's got pretty good fans when we support our teams.
I wouldn't know
when our teams aren't trash.
When the teams aren't trash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been to a Rockets game. I only been to the Western game. But I know like the other teams, like the little like Dynamo and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like that. Those fans go really hard.
Yeah. I got a friend who plays in the band for the Dynamo and stuff, and he's let me go with him, sit with him in the like bleachers and stuff while they play, and they get intense, dude. It's like, man,
they get into fights and stuff, right?
Yeah, dude. It's just fun. I think he told me at one point that they one of the band, like I forgot, one of the trombone players got into a fight with like an opposing team, like what's it called, fan and shit, and like it got so bad that the people from the Dynamo emailed the head of the battalion and was like, hey, if y'all do that again, y'all cannot play anymore. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, dude.
I would imagine so, bro. That's like, there's got to be a huge liability.
Yeah, man. And so he was like, yeah, y'all can't do that again. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, bro, this man's just playing the trombone and just I don't know, just walks up on somebody. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, man. So do you feel that, since you didn't really play a lot of heavy contact sports, I know there's a lot of contact in soccer, and so there's some in basketball and stuff like that, but like, not playing football, when it came, when you got into MMA, did that kind of help you out a little bit, knowing that your body was still kind of fresh in like when it comes to the impact of certain things?
I mean, I guess so. Like, I don't know, like, in this sport, for the most part, most people that I know, we know that like what comes with it. It comes with like hurting, and it comes with like pain and injury and stuff like that. Like I'm in the house after like this past week, I'm in the house with my girl, and she's like she's like laying on me, whatever. She's like touching me, and I'm like, ow. And she's like, you didn't, like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, that just hurts. She's like, you didn't tell me that hurt. I'm like, everything hurts. I just had to fight. Everything hurts. My legs hurt. My hips hurt. Yeah, everything hurts. But I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't take too much damage. My body actually got way stronger, and I like got rid of so many injuries when I started doing martial arts. It was really crazy. Like, like I had tendonitis when I played basketball. I couldn't jump off like one or two legs without. I mean, I couldn't jump off like one leg without it hurting. Like,
I was about to say, with MMA, you do a lot of stretching. You just kind of have to. So
stretching, hips open,
helps with stuff like that.
Yeah, my body's a lot more flexible now, but then also like it's stronger in a different way as well too, because you use so many more muscles. Yeah. You use so many more muscles when you do everything. You know,
that's why I love grappling. Grappling, I think, is one of the greatest workouts you could ever do.
It is, man. Yo, when I first started training, I lost like 35 pounds in a year, in like a month, man. That's
you had 35 pounds to lose?
I was like 295 when I first started playing. Yeah, it was like a transitional period of me not playing basketball, moving into that, and I started doing jiu-jitsu. I did it like every day for like the first 60 days because I just kept getting ragdolled, and I did not like that feeling of that. So I had to learn how to stay alive. I would just come every day. Right. My back muscles were hurting. I was like, couldn't even like move. Yeah. Move. It was crazy.
It's crazy how like dead your legs and your hips can get like real fast doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Freaking being on the bottom. I don't like takedowns. I prefer pulling guard. Like, I know it sounds really lame, but training with John Luke, I'm not supposed to be a heavyweight. I don't need to be here. If I pulled guard on him, I would die. Man, like, he's just so much heavier than me.
You've been trying to talk him into dropping down that weight too.
Really?
Yeah. We talked to him about that, and he was like, I forgot what he said or who told him. He was like, they told me to go down 240. Fuck that shit.
He doesn't want to, bro.
He's like, I'm not doing that shit, man. And I was like, nah, you do what you got to do. And then when they were sparring, and then I wanted to mess with him so bad, like, so 240. But yeah, I was like,
240. We talking 205. Yeah. We trying to tell him 205. He's like, nah.
He's a very what's it called? He's a smaller heavyweight for sure, but he reminds me of, like, his build though reminds me a lot of like watching DC and stuff. It's like DC was able to make it happen, but he fucking hated that weight cut though.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like, that's tough. That was tough.
And he's a Louisiana. I think he's from Louisiana, right? That's what we talking about.
Or John Luke. Yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yeah, so those Louisiana boys, they fucking eat, dude. Like they don't play their shit with their food, man. Like, they throw it down.
Yeah, he came to the fight when I was waiting to fight. He came back with like some Timmy Chan's, so like two plates of food. I'm back there warming up. He's eating like 2 plates of Timmy Chan's.
He told us that story, like when he did that smoker recently, and he's like, dude, I was eating like Chick-fil-A and drinking a fucking milkshake before I went out there.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper, I think he likes.
Yeah,
I think he likes Dr. Pepper.
I was like, Jesus, man, that's fucking.
This dude's funny.
That shit's funny. I remember I knew a dude that I trained with this dude like a while back who knew Adrian Yanez, and he was like, yeah, man, I know who he is. And we were sitting there bullshitting, and I said something about me drinking soda, and he was like, dude, I drink soda when I'm training. I'm like, what the fuck? The guy's name was Vincent Serrano. He's like, I drink Dr. Pepper. Like, he's like, I have one right there. It's on ice.
If I drink soda, it's only ginger ale, like, for the most part. I like orange soda too. Like, I'll drink some like fresh after a fight. But not too big on soda. It's like no nutritional value to it. I just drink a bunch of it. I'll drink a whole liter of soda and still be thirsty. So
yeah,
there's something up with that.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about soda. I like root beer. I used to like Pepsi a lot. I don't like Pepsi anymore. I can't drink it anymore.
Yeah, I drink soda all the fucking time. Like I live off that shit.
Soda. I live off my fruit punch.
Yeah,
chocolate can of fruit punch.
Yeah, you get the big red jugs.
No. You gotta get the little small boxes.
Swans.
The big jugs don't taste the same as the boxes.
Really?
Yeah, make it your own and shit.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it could be the plastic too, but the boxes taste like when you pour out the box, it tastes way better than pouring out the big plastic jug. So I always buy the boxes. I'll buy like 5-6 of them.
Oh shit!
Even though they raised the price of them.
Do you know who fucking Bert Kreischer is?
No.
He's a comedian with Tom Segura. he does a podcast called Two Bears, One Cave with this other comedian, Tom Segura. And he has this big ass jug like yours, kind of, but it's fucking big, dude. It has to be like a gallon.
It's a gallon.
And, it's a gallon?
It's a gallon.
Shit, dude. Yeah, I think it's like that big. And he'll pick it up and he's just drinking it. And finally, Tom was like, "What are you drinking?" And he's like, "Oh, Kool-Aid."
Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
A gallon of Kool-Aid?
Yeah. And he's like, "You have a gallon of Kool-Aid." And he's like, "Yeah." And he fucking tries it. He's like, "It's really fucking Kool-Aid and shit." Bro. It's the funniest shit.
Nah, that guy's wired. He's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Fucking Bert Kreischer's he's a functioning alcoholic for sure, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
He's done some other shit. Like
Big
you hear his stories. Like you know that movie Van Wilder?
No.
It's with it came out in like fucking like 2000. It's what really gave Ryan Reynolds his big break.
Okay.
And shit. It's based off of Bert Kreischer because he went to FSU. And shit, and he was like who else? Who was it? National Lampoon's the
National
Lampoon. They named him like the biggest partier in all of the U.S. like multiple years in a row, and shit. Like, and he was like, it took him like 8 years to get his fucking bachelor's degree and stuff. Yeah, it's shit.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. I didn't like college that much. It was fun.
He got fucking, I don't know. It's crazy as shit though. His story's nuts. But if you ever look up some of his stuff, like he's not bullshitting on most of his stories either and shit.
I'm check him out. Sound like a fun guy.
No,
where'd you go to college?
Several places. Man.
Oh, okay.
Several places. I've been to several schools. I went to school in Kansas at Garden City Community College, Kilgore, UIW, Adams State, and then one school back home. Yo, they were like, I'm a nomad, so like I just
moving
like
a lot.
Go, yeah, like, and then it was like those first few places I was settling down, I didn't really care for them either. So like. When I left home when I was 17, 18, I went to Kansas. Kansas sucks. It was like culture shock. I was as culture shock as it's going to get for me. After that, I went to Kilgore in East Texas, and that place sucked too.
Yeah.
it wasn't like a great place, but it was a good program. I played some good basketball there. I was able to get some other opportunities, and then I ended up at in San Antonio. And San Antonio was good for like a year and a half, and then it started to suck too.
Yeah, how long have you been in Houston?
A year.
Okay.
A year in June.
Still good here?
A year in June it was.
Still all right here?
I like Houston. Houston's nice, man. I bought a house here. I'm good. I'm settled down here. Yeah. Like, this is where it's at for me. I'm trying to get everybody here now. So.
What kind of music do you generally listen to?
A little bit of everything. I know people say that they don't really mean everything.
Yeah.
But like I'll literally get into just about anything. Like, I can vibe out to anything. I know like I have like the weirdest assortment of musical library in my mind.
Yeah.
It might not be in my phone, but in my mind, like something will come on and I'll know the song. Like I'll start jamming to it. I'll start.
When you got here, I was playing Rocksmith earlier. I was playing Bullet for My Valentine, and then I was about to ask you if you started listening to any Houston rappers. Like
Houston rappers?
Swisher House.
There's none really. I like all listen to music from 10 years ago. That's all the music out here from 10 years ago.
They're classics.
Yeah. That's one thing. That's what I've noticed too, though. I think like the biggest thing that happened since like all these older rappers like Pimp C and all that has probably been Travis Scott. And then
I don't like Travis Scott.
Well, I like Sauce Walker. He's my favorite Houston rapper.
Who is
Sauce Walker.
Sauce Walker, yeah.
And Maxo Cream. I like
Maxo a lot. I fuck with Maxo. He's fucking funny too, bro. My brother works at Gulfgate Dodge, and Maxo Cream walked in one day and shit. And and so like it's just a car dealership, and then he was just like looked and shit, and my brother was like, dude, I recognize this dude like as soon as he fucking walked in. And then he's got a picture of them two throwing because Maxo's a Crip, and he's very well known for that. And he was like, and my brother shows me a picture, he's like, yeah, dude, if you ever see Maxo, the one thing you gotta do is you throw up a gang sign with him, like he'll start fucking with you immediately. I was like, no shit. And he like, I see a picture, it's my brother next to Maxo Cream throwing up the C. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I wouldn't play with it. That's me.
I was like,
especially Which brother?
Dylan.
Oh my god,
dude. And so I see that shit and I was like, you can't do that. And I was like, you didn't put that on these socials, right? He's like, nah, man. He's like, I just do that for the fuck of it, bro. Like, who gets to say they did that?
That sounds fun.
I was like, dude, Jesus, man. But yeah, Maxwell's cool though, dude. And I fuck with this shit a lot because it's one album Brandon Banks like really kind of took him off too. Like that was like he had Schoolboy Q on there, ASAP Ferg on it, Megan Thee Stallion, Travis Scott was on it too. And so
I like Maxwell. Maxwell talks about. Other than that, the same stuff. We be at the gym. They're like literally playing the same Houston music every day. I know it. I never listen to it.
Yeah,
I know it though. Like I know all your greatest hits. Hey, I'm not talking down on Houston. I love Houston. I need some new artists.
Does it count if Chamillionaire's coming back?
No, it does not count.
I'm just happy that he was smart with his money and invested it. He was like, I remember he was at the NBA Finals one year and people were like, how the fuck can you afford this? And he was like, man, I was smart with my money off my one hit, all right?
He said I'm rich.
Houston needs something new. I think especially with Travis Scott, like with that shit that he pulled at his concert.
Ooh, so I forgot about that.
Yeah,
nah,
I forgot about that.
My wife works downtown, so she has to drive past that area all the time. So
that was insane. I actually wanted to go to that too.
Really?
I'm happy I didn't go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember a couple years ago, me and my brother were both like finally working, making some good money. He's like, let's go to Astro World. I was like, nah.
You probably would have been all right. You're like head and shoulders above everybody.
I hated it. I don't like large groups of people like that.
I don't either.
Very
I get
reason right there. All the weird stuff that goes on. So I'm not.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I'm totally happy I didn't go. Like I was really trying to go though. There's some tickets for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking ridiculous. And then like whenever I found out that everyone went crazy because Zach was telling me that because Drake came out. Shit, that's what started everybody getting trampled. It was like because Drake came out and the people went crazy. Like, bro, if I started getting like stomped out to like sicko mode or some shit, like I'd be so fucking mad. Like, I mean, I don't know. You had me fucked up, man. But yeah, so after that, I kind of stopped fucking with Travis though. After that shit, just because it's like, how are you not aware that this shit's going on? You know?
I don't know, man. It's a hectic environment, and like oftentimes I just try to like look at every side of a situation. Like I don't know what it's like to have to be on stage in front of like I guess it was like millions of people, right? Because it was way over capacity too. Like it's a big cluster. Like you ever been in a club, right? I had this like scene in my mind right now. Like we were like in this club one time and the lights were all off and like all I can see is the silhouettes of people and it looks insane in there. It looks like it looks like a very unsafe environment, but we're in there, right? And that's got to be match the same thing. Like you can't really tell what's going on. I'm not making excuses for him. Like his team, they should have had some better lines of communication or something like that. But
that's what I always say. There's a whole like production crew that's watching out specifically for that stuff. Security
crew and the production crew. Like I'm pretty sure you have several crews there. You do this on a regular basis.
The issue is that they just let too many people in.
It's definitely more on Live Nation, if anything, because Live Nation was the one who was selling the tickets,
and they're just selling them at the door like nonstop. And I'm like,
you're just letting that shit fly.
Let people in for extra money and stuff like that.
Dude, like I saw the memes and shit, man, and it was like such a fucked up situation, but like people were like putting out some pretty funny ass memes though.
Yeah,
like, man, fuck, dude.
I kind of stay out of it. Whatever everybody's talking about at the same time, I typically don't talk about it.
I try to wait till like see it, just because you see so much stupid crap and it gets so annoying hearing about the same stuff for weeks and weeks.
Like people's like immediately as soon as some shit's happening, people are making a joke and shit.
Like, as soon as something happens, as soon as an album drops, as soon as a movie comes out or a show, it's like everybody's going to talk about. So I'm just not going to talk about it.
My thing, when an artist drops an album, it's usually never that good, but people act like it is. Like when Drake put his new album out, I was seeing a lot of people say it was amazing, and then a lot of people saying it was garbage.
I didn't listen to it.
I don't even like Drake, so I don't even care. But I wouldn't stop seeing it.
Like I've yet to listen to Kendrick's new album, but
I didn't get to listen to it either, and I like Kendrick.
I didn't even know.
I didn't listen to it yet. It's
I'm not big on Kendrick.
Everybody talked about it for weeks, and like I'm like that though. I'll listen to it like 2-3 months later.
Yeah, like the one artist I go out of my way for sure was like always J. Cole. Anytime he drops a new album, I'm like, okay, I got you.
Same thing. Listen to this shit. I haven't downloaded new music in like at least a month, maybe.
Yeah,
like screw it, whatever. Or it's older songs that I've downloaded. Like I'm downloading like 90s music.
So like Houston rap?
No, no.
What's that, man? That's one of the cool things. When we would go up to Heritage Muay Thai and see our friend Jeremy Milbourne. Is they play a lot of '90s rap, but they play a lot of like East Coast rap.
Yeah,
and I think that's always something different. You don't really see that around here. Like you said before, every gym you walk into is playing fucking Houston rap.
It's the best vibe for it, man. Especially, it's the best vibe for it.
Like what do you think about 21 Savage? I don't care for his music at all, but if you play like his instrumentals, it works for training. It works really well for training.
21 Savage is good when he's good, and when he's bad, he's really bad.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not particularly a fan. I like 21 Savage.
You know that song he did for Mortal Kombat?
No.
It's not very good.
No.
But I don't think that any of his stuff is that good. But if you play it while you're training, or if you find the instrumentals, it really freaking works.
I listen to a lot of Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang's
especially like on jiu-jitsu, like.
I had asked Jeremy about that one day. I was like, cause I noticed it. We were doing something, and all I hear is "protect your neck" in the background.
Yeah, I was about to say "protect your neck."
And always. I was like, I heard it, and I asked him after we were done, and I was like, "Hey, why do y'all play so much East Coast? Like, I like it. Like, this shit's cool as fuck." Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, it's because the rhythm." He's like, he's like, kind of makes you keep a certain flow with how you do stuff.
That's why I'm telling you to check out 21 Savage. That's the same reason. The rhythm he has with his music works really well for fighting. I don't know. It's weird. Like his music sucks, but
you'd be surprised. I mean,
to me.
Let me not get into that. I had something I was going to say, but
hey, feel free. Feel free.
Let me not do that.
So to get right back, I know we're talking about music. I can talk about music all fucking day, honestly. But also like getting it like with with how it kind of relates back to a fighting, training, and stuff like that. Without giving away too much, but like what was the one thing, you're a natural athlete. I should probably lead with that as well. Like what was like the one thing that was kind of harder for you to kind of get into, like you would say that was like, okay, that was kind of a little bit of an obstacle, then I overcame that, and now I'm doing this. As
far as like just like training,
man,
nothing really. It's really just accessibility. The hardest thing for me was the accessibility, especially like being in New York. There's no wrestling gyms out there.
Really?
Like very seldom. Like I would actively look for wrestling programs that I could get into. And it's usually like I'd easier find like professional wrestling, like
I'm sure.
Like that. Like seriously, or they only train like high school kids.
How long ago was this? So you were looking for gyms in New York? Was it during COVID?
Right before COVID.
Okay, because I know in New York, like almost all of the gyms, I forgot the number exactly, but there was only like 10 gyms across the state of New York that stayed open throughout the, like 10 bigger well-known gyms.
Yeah.
Like most of them got shut down.
They either shut down or like they just weren't open. Like my gym where I was training at, prior to like that whole COVID hit where I was doing my jiu-jitsu at, shut down. So I couldn't do jiu-jitsu for like 18 months before I moved down here to Houston. I didn't do any jiu-jitsu, any grappling whatsoever. I was just really just doing Muay Thai. So that's where I was able to just invest so much time into that, and nobody's working, so I guess everything shut down. So I was in the gym all day just getting my elevating my stand up. Really, just how that happened. But now I'm at war, and we wrestle. We wrestle like Russians.
That's good though. That's really good, because I remember we talked with Hayden about that, and he even said, he's like, dude, I actually have pretty good wrestling. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, we work on wrestling a lot. Because it's important, like it's such especially now, like with where MMA is going now, like you have to have some type of background in wrestling. Either it be like you wrestled in high school or college, or you have anti-wrestling.
I was about to say that's probably the most important part now.
Yeah. It's just to be able to stop, because these fucking Dagestanis are everywhere now, dude. It's like they come out of the woodworks, dude. Like
I'm gonna run into one day.
It's bound to happen.
You don't see them. You don't see as many at heavyweight, but you will.
Yeah, you will put the business on them. There might be like one or two.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll fight them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Be scared.
Yeah. Exactly.
Got to beat the best.
I know we got you on a time restraint, so we're coming to the end pretty soon.
We got time. Let's take another 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess since we kind of talked a little bit about your last fight, would you say that was kind of probably, I guess, like your biggest challenge as going into that as well, though? Or
what you mean, like for the last fight?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a challenge. It was definitely an opportunity to show what I can do, and I definitely elevated my grappling a lot this last camp, but I've been elevating my grappling constantly since I've been here.
Mhm.
But this time intentionally, intentionally working so many different positions and grappling and having larger bodies to grapple, so I can just get used to feeling that weight and moving that weight around and having to push through the cardio of moving that weight around. It was really good. It was really good. It was really fun. It was a really fun camp. It was hard. It was brutal. I dropped a lot of weight. But I was in like some of the best shape of my life. I felt amazing. I felt like I had no complaints moving into that fight, like at all. Like no complaints, no worries. I was just focused. Of course, there's always the worry of it's a fight, but more than the actual fight, I'm more worried about everybody watching than the actual fight. Yeah. The fight part is easy to me. That's easy to me. So nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't call it any worries at all. Just opportunities to show what I can do, and I'm happy I was able to show what I can do. I'm happy I was able to go those rounds and fill that out.
Right.
Because that's priceless experiences right there. Like knocking people out in the first round is cool, but there's so much I'm lacking with that, right? Where it's like I'm not really getting to see what I can do myself, as well as everybody else has even less of an idea of what I'm capable of. So it was fun. It was fun to be able to do that.
That's something that I'll talk about every now and then is one of Dana White's Looking for a Fight. Was that it? He's got too many shows now.
Mm-hmm.
But he had one with Fury, and it was when Leomano Martinez got signed.
Mm-hmm.
And was Jacob's fight before or after his? I think his was before.
It's before it, yeah.
Jacob went the first round, and he showed like really good striking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Jacob Silva, a big fan of Leomano Martinez too, so I don't mean to sound like I'm hating on him, but Jacob Silva looked really good on the feet in the first round, and then the second, if I remember right, in the second round, he showed really good ground game, and then more striking. He got busted up, his eyebrows cut open real bad, but took a bunch of elbows, and then it went to the ground. He ended up dropping the dude and getting him in a rear naked. Like I feel like he just showed everything because he had that extra time. And then the couple fights later, Leomano goes out there as like a 30-second knockout.
Yeah.
One of the first punches he threw. And he got signed from that. And his fight before that was like a 10-second knockout or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I would have signed Jacob. Like at least signed both of them. But I would have signed Jacob. And I talked to Jacob, and he was pretty chill about it. He didn't mind. His teammate got signed, so he's happy. But
I guess
it's important to get those rounds in. I think I definitely agree with what you're saying.
It is, man. It definitely is, man. It shows so much more. Like that last fight, I've probably learned and showed and have been able to show more than the first two fights. But like the first two fights, what did you get from that, right? I could punch somebody.
Yeah, you hit someone real hard.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
I mean, you do get to see that you're a good technical striker.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fight before this last one, that's the one where the dude was like wobbling over and eventually fell over.
That's the first fight.
That was the first
fight
one?
Before this one,
okay.
Dude just straight bum rushed me. trying to pack me up.
But I mean, yeah, you show that you're a pretty good technical striker, and I think what's pretty cool is you show a lot of patience sometimes. You don't just go out there and swing looking for the kill, or the second you got them hurt, like you pick your shots pretty well, I think.
It's like savoring. You got to savor your meal, man. Like, I'm not in a rush. I'm not in any rush to.
Which I think that's best, especially at heavyweight. Like, because you just say all it takes is one punch.
One punch, man. Like it's easy to say X, Y, Z, or I'm gonna win or whatever the case may be like that. But I'm not into that. Call myself the winner before I actually won, because like you said, anything can happen. Like one punch is all it takes, and like. When you least expect, it's just things just happen, man. Things just happen, and the scariest, spazziest punch will hit you, or it can put you down. I've never been knocked out. I've like been hit and blacked out, or caught myself mid step. Like it's crazy how it happens, but just because I've been able to experience that kind of stuff, I just know how fast it can happen. So I don't take anything. I don't take like my range and my size and my distance or anything like that for granted. I utilize it. I try to keep myself out of danger, live a nice long life, have a nice long career.
Right. That's definitely the best bet with that shit, man.
That would be dope. if I could do that. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll probably go. I imagine you'll go pro soon. You think by the end of the year?
Yeah. I mean, I got one more coming up at amateur for sure. They always say is like, everybody's always like, it seems to be like these days people don't understand the purpose of amateur fights, right? Where it's like, it's whatever to me, right? These things are whatever to me. Like, being a Fury amateur heavyweight champion is cool to me and stuff like that, whatever. But like, actually having had accomplished that is more than having the belt. The belt is whatever.
Yeah.
It's in the corner somewhere in my house right now. But the experience is what we're doing it for, and like, just because I'm 3-0, or like just because like Hayden is 3-0 right now, they're like, oh well, okay, you're gonna go pro now, right? And everything like that. And I'm like, that would be nice. That it's probably very doable, but as far as being conducive to our long-term goals,
exactly,
it'd be better off for us to just. Well, I mean, Hayden's a little different, right? Because he's gonna have more fights before he gets to like any big show, or anything like that, just because of the weight class. But for me, it's like, I go pro, I might only have 3 or 4 professional fights. Like, people are getting calls up of two professional fights, 2 very impressive professional fights. So like, I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable. I don't want to get to the bright lights and not have had enough experience on ring time or mat time, and like have to learn that the hard way there. I'm just trying to play it smart, trusting in my coaches, and trusting the process. Like, I don't have any doubt that when I'm ready to get there, I'll be able to get there. I want to be able to stay there, sustain, and dominate, and be on top. Be on top. I want to be the champion, so I need to make sure I'm like taking those steps.
I think Floyd Mayweather said it really well. He was like, the only time I had my losses were an amateur, and he's like, but that's what that's for. It's to learn. He's like, so I went out there, and sometimes I purposefully made mistakes so that I could see what happened if I did it. That way I could learn from it. And he's like, because then I knew once I went pro, I was never going to do any of that stuff again. I was never going to have a chance. I wasn't going to give myself a chance to do it. And I mean, it worked. 50-0.
Yeah, that's tough to say. I'm not putting myself in any intentional bad spots in a real fight, personally.
I think that just comes a little ego, like him and his
coming
from where he comes from.
That's where I was going with that. I'm like, I don't think he did that. Nobody's putting themselves in a position to be like vulnerable like that in a fight. Like, it's not that. It's not that kind of thing. Like, sparring, that's one thing, right? I'll put myself in bad positions to sparring, but in an actual fight when everybody's watching, I'm not putting myself at any kind of disadvantage like that. There's people here watching.
I mean, boxing's maybe a little different. They get like 100 amateur fights before they start thinking about going pro half the time.
Boxing's too dangerous for that kind of stuff.
It's crazy.
Man. It's a dangerous sport, man. Like, you getting punched in the head, your brain's rattling around in there. They're way more punch heavy. Like, they punching. Boxers' punching power is way different than the MMA fighters.
So we're trying to tell people
it's so much different.
We have people telling us to get Carlos to punch us for views, and I'm like, no. I'll ask some of these MMA guys. Yeah, I was like, I'll ask some of these MMA guys if they want to hit me one day. But I'm not Carlos. No, that dude is designed himself to punch.
To punch. No, they have a whole different, like, it's a whole different thing, man. I learned so much from boxers and boxing. I love boxing. I probably watch more boxing than I watch MMA fights for the most part, because you just learn so much more about like positioning, and things like that from it, like slips, defense, positioning, always being in a position to strike,
getting through defenses.
From wherever you're at. It's just it's cool, man. I like boxing. I like boxing a lot. I think it translates really well too. So. No worries. I'm not getting punched. I would definitely not advise you to get punched from under you.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. When there was somebody, the person who told me that, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah,
man? I was like, that dude's been training that punch since he was 8 years old.
Since he was 8 years old, bro.
Yeah.
He'll punch a hole through you, bro.
Yeah, good, man. I'm chilling. I mean, I got a little bit.
I got work the next day. Like,
man, I've been punched by like 170-pound boxers that hit harder than like heavyweight MMA fighters. Like, they hit hard.
I believe it.
Like, they'll jab you and your head's gonna fly back. So I understood that. Like, that was years ago. I understood like the difference in power and punching power. It's a different kind of grounding. It's a different kind of like grounding.
Yeah.
How they're able to do that. But a lot of respect for boxing, man. So
yeah, for sure.
It was good.
Do you think? How would you rate Francis Ngannou's boxing?
Francis, he's a champ, man. I can't say nothing bad about him. Dude's got crazy power. don't. Obviously, he's not the most technical guy.
Yeah,
he's definitely still growing. He's showing what he can do. You can't underestimate him. I mean, why would you? but you know, you can't underestimate him. I don't think his technique is all that clean or anything like that, but it doesn't really have to be when you can just keep walking forward, throwing
that
punches
kind of power
in a flurry, just throwing punches in a flurry, like how he knocked out like Rowenstruck, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
They show that in slow mo all the time, right? He's literally just walking forward, throwing punches till one hits.
Yeah,
and that's like, it's like it is scary in a sense, right? Because that's that one punch I could be, because Rowenstruck came out. I remember that fight like very well. He came out, he was sharp. He hit him with leg kicks. He like stuck him with a jab, everything like that. And then Gane was like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. It just starts walking forward on him and just.
Because he was like, he was talking about how he felt like almost disrespected for that. He was like, I don't feel like I should have to have taken this fight. But he's like, but I'm gonna because it's my job. I'm not going to not fight. Yeah. Oh, okay. And he was like, but I should be fighting this guy. And they gave me Rosenstruck. And I'm glad Rosenstruck stepped up to fight. But I should have been out of there. I shouldn't have been in there. And that's why I went out there so like punch heavy.
I can see how he would feel that. You know, Rosenstruck is pretty much like the gatekeeper for heavyweight.
Yeah, I was hoping for more from him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him. I didn't expect that.
Crazy too with him is like he's got a big background in kickboxing. Yeah, I watch him fight now, and it's like, what are you doing?
He gets outstruck.
Yo, no, he was technically fine. I mean, when it comes down to it, right? It's like the genetics, like you said, these freaks of nature, right?
And that's what he's running into nonstop.
Nature, like that's an uphill battle, especially at heavyweight. Like we're all big, we can get our hands on each other. At a lighter weight, you might need to hit you might need to hit a dude a few more times in order to knock him out, right? With heavyweights, it's just that one punch, bro. So you just got one punch, so that's like that was it right there. That was the epitome of a heavyweight fight right there. Like he's walking forward, he's just throwing punches, head up, chin up, throwing punches. Like literally, I watched him fight like 2 days ago. And like he's just walking forward and then crushed him, and I'm like, yo, that is worrisome. That is worrisome. I'm gonna have to fight that guy one day, but I'm not worried about it. Like, that's what you signed up for.
I feel like if you got someone doing that, like obviously you can't take one of those punches. You just shouldn't. Maybe not that you can, but you just shouldn't take one of those punches. But I feel like you plant your feet and throw out a real stiff jab straight down the middle. It, in theory, would hopefully stop the punches.
Man, that's tough to say, man. It's a fight. You're gonna
I mean, it's
like you're gonna get hit. Like I don't know, and you're better off expecting to get hit because then you'll take the hit better.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you plant your feet, take one of those punches, and throw out a stiff jab, it's better than what Rosenstruck did.
This guy hit him,
which I mean, I don't blame him.
He just went straight back.
And I do not blame him at all.
Yeah,
I get it.
He could have circled out a little bit.
And
got some better positioning on him. Then he wouldn't have been able to just straight downhill on him.
Yeah, I think that's what after that fight, like that's what he a lot of the MMA community call him Frozenstruck now. Because like goes dude, when you get hit by that certain type of power, man, like it will make you fight completely different because and so I think every time he gets in there, I think he thinks about that knockout too, like just how quick that happened and shit.
Look, people do that stuff, man. Like I'm not a big fan of like analysts or like couch potato talkers, stuff like that, man. Like it's tough what people do, man. Like you talk about trauma, people get traumatized all the time. And they live their lives totally different. You don't think that if you get punched in the face by a dude whose punch feels like a sledgehammer, whose punch feels like a sledgehammer, that would change the way that you fight. Of course it would change the way that you fight. Like
taking some of Jean-Luc's punches and just in sparring, I'm like I would have been unconscious on the floor if he had really thrown that. And this is just sparring.
It's just reality, man. That's like that's just the reality of the situation setting in. Like it's a dangerous thing that we do. It's like more than just like entertainment. Like they think it's a video game or something like that. Like it's a TV show. It's not fake. Like
you said earlier, those casuals
really getting hurt. You see somebody get their arm broken. Their arm really got broken. They're really gonna have to go heal from that for months. Like
hope that they can come back and go right back to it.
You see somebody mess up their knee. They're going to be hurt for that for a while. Like people have families, their fathers, their sons, their daughters and sisters and everything like that, man. Like,
this is how they pay the
putting
bills.
Our bodies on the line for this. People just kind of take it lightly. Like it's not even how much money people are making for this kind of stuff. Like they don't make enough money for this stuff, man. Like we do it because we love it. I'm just like a big fan of like respect for all respect for all of it. Just like all martial artists, even for like my opponents. Like it's never personal. we here to do what we here to do. We're here to hurt each other. Like straight up, we're getting in this ring. You're gonna try to do to me what I'm gonna try to do to you. So I shouldn't feel bad about it when I do to you what I'm gonna do to you. But it's like humility and respect, such a big part of this to me. I think it kind of softens the fall if there ever is one.
Yeah,
so to speak.
I know we had talked about Kenpachi a bit a while back, and you brought up one of his speeches to Ichigo. Do you have that anywhere? Do you have that like written up anywhere?
Written up? Not really. I just remember it like so vividly though, but because that's like one of the things that brings me like solace when it's time to fight, right? Like he's like, you're trying to think your way out of the fight, like enjoy being in the fight. It's right, like he's so patient. I'm like, yeah, I'm patient. I'm enjoying this moment. I'm enjoying my food. Like I'm sitting here, I'm cutting up the little pieces, I'm tasting it, I'm making sure like, I'm gonna throw my punches, I'm gonna feel it out, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna enjoy my time in here. Cause you train so much to get here. This is what you're doing. It shouldn't be like stressful. It shouldn't be like so anxiety inducing once you're in there. Like I understand the emotions leading up to it. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But man, in there it's like, he's like, enjoy the battle, like love being in battle. So I'm trying to find a way out of it, basically, is what I took from that. Don't try to find a way out of it. Don't try to find the fastest way out of it. Enjoy being here. Enjoy the actual fight. Just be here, be present, man. Like we're warriors, man. Like that's the way I think about it. Like real gladiator stuff. Like it's like we're fighting a cage in front of people here. Like they want to see something too. Like I'm just enjoying it, man. Like having fun about it. I love Kenpachi. Like everything he embodies, man. I'm like really Kenpachi now too, the amateur heavyweight. So they got to go through me now. They got to come kill me if they want that belt. At least until I'm ready to vacate it and move on. They're not taking that from me.
Is there anybody like in a respectful way that you see that you're like, yeah, I want to get in there with you
at like the amateur level?
Yeah,
even pros like UFC. Like one day you want to come across.
Oh,
them.
Absolutely, yeah. Several people in the UFC I want to fight. I want to fight all of them. I want to fight all of them, man. I want to fight Cyril Gane. I think it'll be a great fight. Be a great fight. He's so technical. I think we'll have a good stand up battle. Francis, obviously, he's the champion. Got to go through him at this point. John Jones would be like, he's at heavyweight now. It's like that'd be like a dream come true to fight. To fight the greatest. I study that dude so much. It's not even funny, man. Curtis Blades.
Yeah,
I like Curtis Blades. Yeah. I like him. I think he's a brutal dude.
You think he'd get you down?
Probably. I'll get back up.
Right, cool.
Probably I'll get back up. I mean, same thing, right? You gonna get hit if dude shoots the takedowns. He'll probably get me down eventually at some point too. But I'm like, I'm not just banking on not getting taken down. I can definitely get back up. I can definitely more than survive on the bottom. And by the time I get there, man, I'll be so elevated. My wrestling will be so much better. Yeah. Offensively, it'll be so much more. It'll be so much better. And my jiu-jitsu would be a lot better as well too. So I mean, I don't know, man. I like the dudes that are really complete. Their games are complete. Like John Jones, Charles Oliveira. Like I like those guys, man, because there's no way they're not comfortable in the fight.
Do you? I'm sorry.
You're good. No worries, man. You're good.
Do you think John Jones is the GOAT?
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like for me, it's GSP. But that's just me. I know I'm super biased. He's been my favorite for so long, but John Jones is right there, and I don't entirely like that people like hate on him so much for his personal life, and they let that affect like his standing and how good he is.
Yeah, I mean that's what people do, especially when they don't do anything. Like they don't do anything. They're gonna find a reason to fault a person or whatever case may be like that. In a lot of cases, I'm able to separate the person from their work, and his work is like immaculate, man. Like, what he's able to do to people. Beat them at their own game. Like there's no need for a rematch. I just beat you at the best thing that you do. I beat you. You're a striker. I just knock you out. I just punch you. I just beat you up for 5 rounds or 3 rounds in a striking match. You're a wrestler. I just out wrestled you. Like I just choked you out unconscious. I just choked you until you were limping and you passed out on the ground. That's impressive stuff. Like that's like head on. Like he's not running from any problem. He'll just be better than you at solving that problem. I don't know. Like it's hard to tell me that anybody's better than that guy. Like it's hard, man. Like it's hard, bro. He's a wrestler he's a wrestler first, but then he's you can't strike with him.
Yeah.
You can't strike with him. And then you try to take him down. He's only been taken down twice in his whole career.
And when he does, he looks good off his back.
He's good off his back. He'll get back up. He'll choke you out. He's long. It's crazy reach.
If he goes up to heavyweight,
striking package is crazy. Man.
If he goes up to heavyweight and starts killing it there and gets the belt there, I'll consider putting him above GSP.
I have no doubt that he's going to. I mean, it's just like, it's absurd for me to believe anything other than the fact that he would when he showed us nothing but success. Like, you know, like
it's just I feel like
us counting him out at this point. we just want to believe that he's going to do that.
Something like Francis Ngannou's power, though, it's hard to like try to picture what's going to happen.
Not really, right? Only because we watched Cyril Gane, right? Watched that fight. I learned a lot from that fight.
Yeah,
I learned a lot from that fight. I was able to watch that fight and learn because me and Cyril Gane don't have like a very similar style, but in the sense that he's a technical striker.
Yeah.
I was able to see what works against him. Francis doesn't really like getting hit that much, and then his power kind of goes away after a little while. Of course, he's still dangerous, but the power becomes less of a threat. It becomes more of an even match up as far as the power goes. Once you get him, into those third and fourth and fifth rounds and everything like that. But it's just like the footwork, man. Like he has things in his package that Francis doesn't have yet. And he was able to use those. It was just a low IQ decision that he made at the end of the fight. That he could have easily won that fifth round and then won the fight and been the champion right now. But that's neither here nor there. I was able to learn from that. Man, like just things I can do to keep that fight fairly safe for myself, as safe as it could be to fight a guy like him, right?
Yeah.
I think John Jones is a genius, man. I think the dude's coaches are geniuses. He's a genius himself. He's a genius himself. He can go coach a whole generation of fighters probably right now. Like, and
he technically did on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, like so. I mean, like, man, it's tough to say that like a dude with power would knock him out.
And that dudes with power. I'll rephrase that, or not rephrase that, but I'll change what I said because I think just John Jones's frame and how he utilizes everything is just as much of an X factor as Ngannou's power. So, yeah,
that reach, man, those oblique kicks, like. He's touching people from places that they can't even like. You can't get to him.
I love.
He's throwing those oblique kicks, and like his range is so extended when he's throwing that oblique kick. You can't get to him at that point. You can't get to him at that point. If he's fighting a dude like Francis, who now we know has knee problems, he'll just tear his legs up.
Yeah,
he'll tear his legs up. I think like pretty much all of his opponents at this point have had to get knee surgery after they fight.
Yeah, Thiago Santos.
Everybody, like they're all like he's tearing them up, man. Like, and that's why I like throwing kicks. You see me fight a lot. I throw a lot of leg kicks. So easy. It's like a neutralizer. If you can't get your jab off, or if the hands ain't there, whatever, you can just fire off the legs. Chop, 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 chop. Slow them down. Slow down the wrestling. Slow down the striking. Slow down the movement. It makes everything a lot easier.
Do you know Khalil Roundtree?
Yeah, same thing.
I'm a big fan of him. I'm becoming more and more of a fan. Like every time I listen to him talk.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that
dude. I've heard him talk, but I'll see the fight. First of all, he's a big dude for that weight class.
He used to be like 300 pounds.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I did see that actually. We were actually talking about him like leading up to that last fight that I was going into. I was like working on some oblique kicks. I didn't throw any during the fight really because I don't spar with them, and
it's hard to spar with them.
Like
you don't want to be a dick. I'll like kind of feint them and I'll like poke the knee.
Same thing with like high kick, like high teeps to the face, right?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like
because it's so risky.
These are things I want to use more of because they feel so good to me and I like to do them. But if I'm not sparring with them, it's unrealistic to believe I'm gonna be able to use that in the fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just doing what's natural to me. I'm doing what I've been working on already. Like the work's already done. The work's done. Yeah. So. Fine.
Well, yeah, we'll bring it to an end. Do you have any shout outs you want to do? Throw out your social medias if you want to get some followers?
Yeah, you can follow me. Follow me on Instagram, Banks Marley, Banks Marley. You can follow me there. I don't be doing too much of nothing, a whole bunch of nothing. You can follow me there. Other than that, nothing else really, man. Shout out to War Training Center. Love you guys, my training partners over there. Shout out to Jeremy and Adam. Love you guys, my coaches. And shout out to Militia Fight Academy too, man, back in New York. I love y'all guys too. Y'all help make me who I am. I never forget y'all.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming by. It was good talking with you. Next time we have you on, we'll definitely talk more anime.
Yeah, I'm really
down.
For sure. We'll have more time. It was a good talk, man.
Alrighty.